Undercover Carson, secret agent. Operation Deathray, an assignment in Rio.
There were many times in the search for the Deathray that I forgot what a terrible weapon it could be. And with so many attractive rivals playing their shadowy parts, even a hardened undercover man could forget. Hetty Fitzhenry, the red-headed American bird painter. Blonde Helena Jansen. The dark and exotic Fay Corelli. All three stunners in any man's language. For what powers were they working? Were they already ahead of us in the search? With the able help of Sir Giles Davenport and his servant Angelo, I'd run down 2 of the 6 scientists, but only to find that a certain Chaco had beaten us to their information. Now we discovered that Chaco had been connected with the search for the lights that never go out. An old friend of Sir Giles was coming over to explain the story behind these lights. In the meantime, in Sir Giles' Cocobanya apartment, the conversation turned to other dazzling and dangerous lights.
Carson, old fellow, I suspect that you cherish some secret hope where Mademoiselle Corelli is concerned.
Can you blame a man, Sir Giles?
I mean that she might turn out to be in all truth the fetching scatterbrain you first imagined.
That? Oh, I see what you mean.
I hate to harp, you know.
Oh, go right ahead, sir.
In this espionage business, you often find, as we are finding now, that there are many people in the hunt.
So, sir.
And one way of organizing a clear run to the prize is to discourage, deceive, or destroy the opposition, even dazzle them.
And I'm being dazzled by one of the opposition's leading lights?
At times, I fear so.
Once again, sir, can you blame a man?
Oh, I understand, Carson. Well, take espionage through the ages, and you'll find time and again that some exceptionally attractive woman is being used as the lure, the decoy, or however you care to put it.
Perhaps that's what's drawn me into the game.
Whatever it is, old fellow, you're certainly a magnet. Amazing how you meet up with them.
Just luck.
I wonder...
How so, sir?
I've often thought about the way you met Mademoiselle Corelli.
At a dive called the Black Macaw. She was being pursued by some Rio dandy, chappie who'd seen her dancing at El Rocco. I was at the bar at the time. She appealed to me for protection. We danced, introduced ourselves. Dandy moved on.
A very convenient way of getting you away from that Brazilian bartender who was about to give you some valuable information.
True, sir, but hardly seen, sir, at the time.
Nevertheless, Carson, you were lured from him, and he was killed, or rather, murdered.
Yet Fay seemed so helpless, so shocked.
She's quite an actress, from what we know now.
Must agree, sir, though with great reluctance.
Be on your guard, Carson. Play her own game, and then perhaps we'll discover for whom she's working.
Yeah, will, sir. Suspect every blink of eyelash, every sweet nothing. That won't be easy.
Permit me to interrupt, Excellency.
Oh, what is it, Angelo?
From the next room, Excellency, I have observed on the boulevard below the arrival of your friend.
Ah, on the dot.
And now he enters the building.
Splendid. Yeah, I'll attend to him, Angelo. You stay out of sight.
If that is what you wish, Excellency.
I don't want the fellow to think that we are very greatly interested. He's a man as straight as they come, but no need to make him curious or such like.
I will retire to the other room, Excellency.
Good. Though, mind you keep your ears open.
See, Excellency, if that is what you wish.
Well, now, Carson. I say, old chap, that's an odd sort of expression you have on your face.
Nothing, sir.
You seem quite concerned about something.
Oh, let it pass. Just thinking.
Oh, very well, then. Let's prepare ourselves for the story behind the lights that never go out. I've warned you. It'll make you wonder.
As Angelo had gone out of the room, I'd noticed a strange expression on his face. I thought perhaps he was hurt about things, and later I was to recall it and try desperately to analyze it. But for the present, I turned my attention to Sir Giles' friend, a bluff sort of Englishman who'd been in Latin America for many years. He was a fellow you couldn't help but like.
Julius, I'd like you to meet young Carson, Commander Julius Grant.
Oh, how do you do, Sam?
Glad to meet you, Carson. Been reading about you.
Reading about me, sir?
Well, the newspapers are weeks and weeks old as a rule before I get round to browsing through them. Picked up an old copy telling about your arrival in Brazil.
Oh, that.
They certainly gave you a write-up. Is it a fact about all these quaint hobbies of yours?
More or less, Commander.
Quite a bird you are, what?
Bird watcher.
Oh, yes. But the weapons business and the pipes.
And don't start him on his beloved pipes, Julius. He'll be hauling them out of his pockets and telling us in what far-flung corners of the globe he collected them. Now, do let's sit down.
Thank you, Giles.
It's jolly sporting of you to come over so quickly. After all, my query was of no importance. It's just something that happened to crop up, you know.
Well, I might say that it's a matter very close to my heart, and I'm only too eager for a chance to discuss it, especially as I've been on the trail of those lights myself.
The commander's an explorer of some note, Carson. I did tell you that.
Of course, sir.
Oh, I wouldn't say of note, Giles. Like my home comforts too much. But this country is seething with mystery, and now and then I go off on a jaunt. Anyway, to get to the lights that never go out.
Indeed. We found it absolutely intriguing since you mentioned there was some wonder about them.
Well, Giles, for many years now, fellas like myself have been trying to track 'em down. But first, let me remind you of the great upheaval suffered by this world of ours. Continents have vanished, oceans have changed their shapes, tropical jungle once flourished where now there is ice the year round, and there was once ice covering our tropical regions. You follow?
Quite, sir.
Well, in the course of all these upheavals, there is no knowing what ancient civilizations might have perished.
Many have. We know that.
Yes, as the investigations go on, more and more evidence comes to light. And it is in the myths handed down by seemingly primitive people that we get the most interesting glimmers of the glories that once existed. Now, young man, Sir Giles has described me as an explorer, and I've explained that I'm perhaps not the type that revels in roughing the wilds of these parts. But in a sense I am constantly exploring the myths, the legends and the folklore.
That, Commander, is often equally as fruitful.
Well, I've made a certain amount of progress. In the myths of the Indians, who now inhabit the remote backwoods of Brazil, you hear some amazing tales of lost cities, of hair-raising rites, of glittering splendor.
Well, then there is something in this lost city business, eh?
Man, it's an established fact. But to come to the main point, among the natives you hear that these ancients had an astonishing means of illumination. Temples lit by a blazing light, a light that never went out.
And how's this accounted for?
Well, young man, in view of modern discoveries, there are many of us who believe that the source of light was atomic.
Atomic power? In the hands of the ancients?
It's all rather startling, I'll admit. But yes, that is what is suggested.
Quite a breathtaking suggestion.
You've seen ruins, you say?
I have, but never the lights. Yet you will constantly encounter natives who swear that old towers blaze at night with the lights that never go out.
So there's no definite evidence?
No, that must be admitted.
And the alleged site of the phenomena is in rough terrain, no doubt?
Oh, some of the wildest in the world, the heart of Brazil.
I suppose, sir, you're well acquainted with other explorers seeking the answer to this lights riddle?
Oh, reasonably well.
Haven't you heard of a chappie called Chaco, by any chance?
Chaco? No. That's a queer sort of name.
It is, rather.
Well, why do you ask?
Oh, it was a name overheard in course of what we picked up about the lights. However, it would be interesting to know the truth.
By George, it would. Find the answer, and you may well have an atomic secret that would startle the world.
As Sir Giles had warned me, the story did make me wonder. We spent some time listening to the explorations and adventures of this former British naval commander, and he left us wondering whether the next leg in our search would take us to that brooding heart of this vast country. The tip had come first from one of Angela's relatives. We asked him to go out and see if he could get us anything further on the matter. I noticed that he was still acting strangely, and I mentioned it to Sir Giles. And he passed it off as nothing until 3 days had passed.
Dash it all, Carson. I hate to admit it, but I'm worried. Confoundedly so.
3 days is a trifle long to be out on short assignment.
I can't understand it. Invariably, if there's a delay, the rascal telephones.
Well, sir, we've been waiting with anxious ears.
And only silence.
As I said, sir, I noticed something strange in his manner from time Commander Grant was due to arrive.
Man alive, he wouldn't be hurt just because I suggested he wait in another room.
I thought it might be that one stage.
Oh, no, Carson. He's been with these many years. He understands he must keep in the background. Otherwise, people like Julius Grant will be wondering what he is in the place.
It could be, of course, that he was upset at the lights that never go out business.
But how could he be upset? I wonder. I'll take you, Shep.
Oh, right, sir.
Hello.
Good evening, Sir Giles.
Oh, Miss Jensen. Well, now, this is a surprise.
I've been ringing Mr. Carson at his hotel. There was no answer, so I wondered...
Yes, he's right here beside me.
Might I speak to him?
At once.
Helena?
Indeed. Amazing how she keeps turning up. Careful.
Oh, don't worry, sir. No, thanks. Helena?
I could say that you were a little presumptuous, Mr. Carson.
Oh, how so?
The use of my Christian name.
You don't like it?
Please, let us not be sidetracked into another of the distressing tips we seem to have. But I'll get to the point. I think we'd better meet somewhere very soon, Mr. Carson.
Oh, always only too willing.
The reason being that there's something I think you should know.
And that?
Person has called upon me, offering certain information about you. It's rather disturbing.
What sort of information?
It concerns the true nature of your mission in South America.
This person, Helena?
A native of Brazil. He calls himself Angelo.
Angelo? Offering information about me?
That is so. I thought you might care to meet me somewhere and discuss the exact nature of his proposition.
I can't imagine what they are, but... Yes, I think we had better meet. We knew that Helena Jansen had been a British agent, but dropped for double dealing. It had seemed we were to be the victims of double dealing from the least expected source. What treacherous part was Angelo playing in Operation Deathray?
Undercover Carson is written by Michael Noonan and produced by Walter Pym for Art Transa.